Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Daniel Frunza, one of the LFA welterweight fighters. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Hello, Marcin. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Daniel, you had unbelievable last year because you had three fights, three finishes. Two of them were in LFA. So I think that it was a big thing, and your elbow finish was absolutely great. So if you can tell me if the year could go any better for you.
Well, my goodness, the year was crazy. It was my first year here in the U.S. So it was insane. I came here with a few $100 in my pocket and a dream. So I was like, it's after the pandemic. It was the year where I was like, it's either gonna go good for me or it's gonna go good for me. That's like no in between. So when I came here, I came here last year in, I think, October, end of October, and right away I was looking for the fight. And it took me a while, to get used to the weather and to train, to find a good gym, and to bond with coaches. It's very difficult. And once I find my spot, I start to look for the fight. And yeah, first fight, I think it was in April. Yeah, in K2S Combat in April, and against a very good opponent, Lindsey Jones, that trains at ATT here in Florida. So high level guy. And yeah, I won that fight, and right after that, LFA, I got that call from LFA, you know, for the co-main event at, I think, LFA 164 in El Paso. I got the call for the co-main event against their number one contender. So that was a scary fight for me. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, they give me their best guy basically in my debut. So I know I was kind of there to get my ass whooped. So yeah, I prepared really hard for that fight, and yeah, it went the way it went. I finished the guy within 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes in the first round. And then the last one, I asked for the belt, but they did not want to give it to me because they thought it was just a fluke, maybe. Maybe they thought it was a fluke win. Lucky guy, comes in, beat the best guy by KO. They're like, nah, maybe it's luck. And they gave me the main event at LFA 170 in Vail, Colorado, which was at 8,000 feet high, which is, I think it's like 2 kilometers high, which is insane. Like, fight, only breathing, like walking and breathing air, it's insane at that height because you get out of breath in this quick. Imagine fighting. And the guy was a local guy, very good wrestler, Harris Lanzik, like solid guy, 6-2 record, all finishes almost. Training at Elevation Fight Team in Denver. Like, I could not ask for a better opponent in the worst place possible, basically. So yeah, it went the way it went. Like, everybody, I think, know by now that I finished him with that elbow with 1 second to go in the fight. So yeah, I'm happy the way the year went, because
Yes,
I've been struggling with injuries and with all kinds of stuff all year round because I was training so hard. Even before Harris, I cut. You can clearly see I split my face, my eyebrow, with 2 weeks before the fight, but I didn't say nothing. I keep my mouth shut, and I'm like, hey, it's main event, so you have to show up.
and it was one of the best knockout of the year. It's like hard to imagine better finish for the
Yeah,
fighter.
Bezia was voted as one of the best finishes in on the year. So yeah, I'm really happy for that.
And before your last fight, did you have a chance to train on this altitude, the level of height?
Brother, I live in Miami. No, here everything gets not flat, it's below sea level. It's insanely hot. So that helped. The humidity and the heat for sure helped a lot. Because when you're in the mountain, it's kind of fresh. It's the air obviously is different, but it's fresh. I have friends that train in Denver. They came here to Miami to train, and they thought they're gonna be like, nah, it's like sea level, it's easy. They were dying because of the heat. If you're not used to that kind of crazy environment, like extreme heat, extreme humidity, it's just different. Obviously, I went there 10 days before to get used to the high altitude. I was doing sprints. I was just killing myself, trying to get used to as much as possible to that sensation of high elevation and a lack of air. But physically, I was ready. So yeah, it was. I don't want to say it was no problem because it was insanely difficult. But yeah, I was talking to my coach after. I was like, if I was forced to do another 2 rounds, I would have done it. I would have done 5 5s, no problem.
And cardio-wise, you actually looked good for the because the fight ended like 2 seconds before the final bell. So for almost
Yeah,
15 minutes, you looked really, really good.
actually, everyone they said that fight was high pace fight. It was like if I I recommend to the people to go to see the fight. It was a high pace fight, especially when you fight at 8,000 feet. Like if you experience that lack of oxygen at that height, you know that just walking fast, like do it like a fast walk, is gonna take you out of breath. Imagine fighting with another solid dude at that elevation with the adrenaline, with everything. Like it's insane. So, but yeah, I was ready for him. I was ready to push, especially because he said I would never get out of the first round because of the high elevation. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you. So yeah, I tried to put the pace on him, and the fight, I think, was a really entertaining fight.
And what should be next for you right now? Because there is a LFA welterweight champion. Next week it will be a interim LFA welterweight championship fight. So where you are in this picture in this division?
Between me and you, next one is gonna be UFC, brother. But don't say to nobody. No, nobody will know. Yeah, we are looking to UFC now. I already got the call. So I'm doing my visa now. I am on the final stage of getting it done, the P1, and next one is gonna be most likely a short notice fight in the UFC. I already got the call, but I was not legally eligible to fight. I did not have my visa done, finished. So yeah, they called me for the UFC fight night. I think 48. The one that they did in Vegas, they offered me Uroš Medic, last minute replacement, and I was going to take the fight, and I was going to pass through Uroš. With all the respect, I love the guy. It's a European fella. It's a guy close to my country. It's a Serbian guy. I love him, but business is business. I would have ran through him. So they offered me Uroš. I could not take the fight, unfortunately, because of legal reason. But yeah, we're looking at the UFC now. Once this visa is done, UFC. So that's why I actually, LFA offered me the interim belt, but why? It's too late. I asked them to give me that belt, and they did not want to give it to me. So now they had their chances with me. Now I have to shoot for bigger goals, and yeah,
I
maybe
think
one day the UFC belt. I'm not gonna say no to that.
I think that you definitely deserve this because in last year you had these 3 wins over really tough guys. These were like the best guy on the local scene, and you
Yeah,
you earn 3 knockouts. So really, it's like hard to deny you. But sometimes there is like matter of a little bit politics, and even very good fighters are like fighting in the local scene for a while. So sometimes it's not as obvious at it seems to be.
yeah, no, it's actually really difficult to get fights, especially when you kind of start to make a name for yourself, and people start to look at you. Many fighters, they'll be like, yeah, I'm looking for an easier fight, or I'm injured, or I'm not ready, or they're gonna look for a way out. So yeah, it's difficult to get fights. And yeah, especially when I asked for the belt like right away. So I knew for the belt, somebody will want that belt as much as I want. So I'm gonna have an opponent for that. But LFA did not want to give me the chance for the belt after my first fight, after Jalen. So I asked for the chance for the belt again after Harris, and 2 weeks later UFC called. So yeah, they got to me first. So,
And where are you currently trained? Because you said that when you came to US, you were like searching for the team.
I'm at KO Zone headquarters in Miami, Florida. It's a very, very good gym for fighting, very good fighters. Here they're in and out like the best guys. Actually, here in Florida, like you have many good gyms, and the fighters, they are just going around and doing sparring at this gym and at that gym. You know, we have high levels guys coming in and out basically every day. You know, you have Killcliff, you have Sanford MMA, you have American Top Team within 30 miles. You know, you have KO Zone, then you have a Goat Shed, you have like 5 or 6 good gyms within 30 miles. So within like 25 minutes drive. So I think this is the hot spot now for if you look for good training, for good MMA sparring partners and everything. Like I think Miami it's the hot spot right now.
Yes, overall, like Florida is the place with so many great gyms. So it's like in what place you will be, it's like the full of knowledge. You will be
Yeah.
like definitely better fighter.
Next week starting, I think I'm gonna start going at Killcliff because it's just to change perspective. Obviously, the gym is way bigger. It's full of talents. Obviously, Killcliff. Everybody knows that it's full of killer from 125 to heavyweights. So yeah, I'm gonna start going there twice a week, doing rounds with those guys. Wrestle. They have very good wrestling program. So yeah, I cannot wait. So once I do my UFC debut, obviously I'm gonna shoot straight for that top 15. I'm gonna go for everybody's neck, and I need to be ready to do that when that debut it's gonna happen. So yeah, I'm gonna start going there, and obviously keep training at my gym right here in KO Zone.
And because of your career, did you like moved to US for like a longer period of time?
No, actually, this is my second time. First time when I came here was around 2 years ago, and I came from South America. I was living in South America. I was training there. I was, doing my things there. And when I came to the US, was actually to test the waters. First time when I came here. So I came to Miami. Obviously, first destination was Miami. I try a few gyms, and then I was like, okay, I like the scene, I like the city, I like the vibe. Everything it's high level, it's good. But I know California also have good gyms and good facility and good things like that. So I traveled to Cali for a few days to see, and I went to New York for a few days to see how it is the scene, And I was like, nah, Miami is the place. The weather is perfect all year round. Beautiful people, and obviously the MMA scene. Like you have the 4 or 5 best gyms in the world for MMA within 30 miles, which is nothing. It's a 25 to 30 minutes drive with a car. So I was like, yeah, this is the place to be. You can change uh, gym and everything. Like in every day, you can go to a new place. Like let's say you have very good wrestling at Killcliff, you go and do your wrestling program there. Strength and conditioning, you go to that gym because they have that coach that and then you go for sparring for kickboxing or Muay Thai to that gym because like you can move around within half hour. You are everywhere. So I was like, yeah, this is the perfect place because you can have so many people with so much experience and knowledge that you can absorb from. So yeah, Miami, it's I recommend to everybody. Miami is the hot place. KO Zone, the best.
And I think that it's like a very very cool and smart thing that you checked all this other like places, other like states to find the perfect gym with the like perfect approach or perfect coaches. I think that it's better than go to first gym and stay there.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that a fighter can do. Like, don't be afraid to move around. Don't be afraid to go and find your place, your spot. You know, because there are many guys that are training with a type of, let's say, nutritionist or kickboxing coach or wrestling coach that you just don't click with. It's just, it is what it is. Especially if you're a guy that is not that flexible and that coachable. You know, there are guys that are really coachable and they adapt to whoever they have in front of them. And there are guys who they are really stiff and rigid, and it's really difficult to train them, you know, because they want to do the things their way, and it's really difficult for them to click with the coach. So yeah, don't be afraid to move around. If you feel uncomfortable to one place, you should go and check another one and another one and another one until you find the right spot for you. And here in Florida, it's the perfect place to do that. Like, you can check many gyms, many coaches, many things.
And like watching your fights, it's obvious that you are a great striker because you are knocking people out. You have like great punches, great kicks, great combinations. So did you have any like competitive kickboxing bouts or Muay Thai bouts before your MMA career?
No, at all. At all. I actually started with MMA really old. I started with MMA when I was almost 19. I started with MMA when I was really old, like old for the sport, with no background whatsoever. Just big balls and, big heart. That's all I had. Like, I was willing to do this because my dream since I was a kid was to come to the US, and a working visa from Europe. You know how it is. It's just crazy difficult to get a working visa. Like, it's a pain in the ass. It takes you years and years and years. And I'm like, okay, I'm a good worker, but it's almost impossible for me, to find a job that will bring me to the US. I'm like, what else I'm good at? I'm like, okay, sports. But what sports? Like, I need to bring the eyeball from the US to me here in Europe. So I'm like, boxing, like fighting, boxing, kickboxing, or MMA. When I started, MMA was the hot thing in Europe, was the new thing. 2009, 10, 11, 12, like in that period when I was 17, 18, 19, like the MMA scene in Europe was starting to grow, especially when Bisping got to the UFC, Alexander Gustafsson, uh, McGregor, 2013, 2014, I think he did his debut. So the MMA in Europe just exploded since then. So I'm like, yeah, I think this is the thing that I need to do. So I actually said it, and people laughed at me, and yeah, it was funny to them. I said I will get to the UFC before I stepped in the gym first time in my life to learn how to throw a punch. I said it before that. Like, that's what I need to be, and that's what I will be. And everybody's like, you're old. Like, you have no background. You don't know how to fight. You're 19. Like when do you think you're gonna get there? Like, you need to get to a certain like high level, and then compete at that level, win at that high level, and then go to the UFC, which is even higher level now. You know? And everybody was laughing at me, but hey, they don't laugh now. I'm the one who laughs now, so it's all good.
But in the end, it's kind of crazy that you didn't have any like kickboxing bouts or anything like that because in your fights you are like looking like really like professional striker, not of course MMA fighter, but coming from the like striking background.
Listen, I can strike with high level kickboxers, with high level Muay Thai. Like, here, I have like a lot of, especially high level Muay Thai guys, that I can strike with no problem whatsoever. Like, I can do a Muay Thai bout or a kickboxing high level bout with no problem. Like, that's my bread and butter, the way they say. So no, I had the will to do it. and I was serious about. I knew what I was going. I knew what the goal was, and it was not fucking around, was not partying, was not drinking, was not, bullshitting around. This is my goal, this is my dream, so I am going to do it. And yeah, I got good really quick, because within 6 months I did my first amateur fight, and it was a tournament. I did 2 fights in one night and won both by KO. So yeah, I figured out like pretty quick in my career that I have hands, So once I realized that, I'm like, yeah, I think we should just work on these, like kicks and punches, like my kickboxing. So yeah, I just start to work like really, like I dedicate myself to this, and yeah, if you do it the right way, which is no distractions, fuck the noise, let them talk, don't listen to nobody, just do your thing, but do it like like your life depends on it. When you do it this way, like things change really quick. Like the gap between you and whoever is your competition, like start to increase really quick when you do it for real. When everything you do is towards that, I in my life, me even now, like day to day, and since I started, I didn't do nothing else that had not to do with with the sport. I didn't do nothing else. I didn't talk about nothing else. I did not even dream about nothing else. It was just this. And if you do it this way, yeah, and work hard, obviously. But yeah, you have to eat, drink, sleep, walk, whatever sport, MMA, grappling, wrestling, whatever you do. You have to just dedicate yourself to the art. If not, yeah, you're gonna be on someone highlights reel, and you don't want that to happen.
And this is why your like progress is so quick, that right now you are like a top level guy in the welterweight division, and like you said, you started quite when you were quite, let's say, old.
Yeah, but listen, I was telling to my parents after that, I was like, why you guys didn't brought me like to a wrestling program or to a judo program when I was in my country, I was like, why? Like, knowing how to fight, it's so important. Not even as a fighter, but as a human being, it's so important to know how to fight. It's I think it's crucial, especially when you come from East Europe. You know how it is in Poland, Romania, Ukraine. Like, you need to know how to hold your own in when you're in the street, or. So I'm like, why you guys didn't like put me to some judo or wrestling or some fighting program? They're like nobody thought that I was ever like gonna take this path, of fighting. So yeah, I start late, but I'm not late now. I catch up to them like pretty quick. To whoever was in front of me, I catch up to them with just hard work. So it's all good now. I'm here.
Definitely. And what do you think about your like wrestling and grappling skills? Because in your fights you like to strike, you like to knocking people out. But what about like your ground game?
People are sleeping on my ground game. I'm gonna tell you that much. People are sleeping on my ground game because I am training my ass off in wrestling and grappling and jiu-jitsu with gi. I put the gi on, no problem. Especially when I try to focus more on technique and on just slowing things down and dissecting it. The gi is the perfect way to do it. So yeah, when I want some specific work, I just put the gi on and work a lot. Now, I lost twice by rear naked choke, but one was my first fight with my debut against a really experienced guy. It was a stupid fight to take, but hey, this is the fighting game. So you just realize later that it was not a smart thing to do. And I lost by rear naked choke, but it was my pro debut. I was so nervous. I had no experience whatsoever in with 4 ounce gloves and pro debut, like doing like fighting a real professional fighter. I never experienced that, so yeah, I fell short on that one. And the second one was second loss was just, I don't want to call it a fluke. I want to give to my opponent the credit of the victory, But if we run that fight again, it's not even close. Because I was coming out of a 2.5 years maybe without fighting, being locked in South America, not being able to train, not being able to do nothing. I came to the US, trained for like 2.5 months, and then fought a guy that it was active, that he was fighting in boxing, he was fighting in MMA, he was like an active fighter. And yeah, I just did a stupid mistake. I rushed with techniques, with kicks and punches, and got caught with a punch in my forehead, fell down, and he took my back and finished me. But if we run that fight back, it's not gonna happen again. Like, I'm gonna run through him. But hey, I'll props to him. He did a good job, to find an empty spot, hit me, and put me out of there. So congratulations to him. And other than that, yeah, they tried to wrestle me. They tried to take me down. Good luck. Like, you're gonna take me down maybe, but you ain't gonna hold me down. Like, that's no chance. I'm gonna scramble and get back on my feet. There's no way. I'm training with very good grapplers, and yeah, I'm a pain in the ass on the ground, especially if I can strike you. So yeah, Harris find out the hard way in the last fight. He took me down twice, once in the second, once in the third, but he did nothing. Nothing. He was just holding for dear life against the cage, and I was just butcher his head with elbows and punches. I cut him open. Good luck. Yeah, wrestle me. Bring it. Like, it's very underrated. And if I want to take people down, which you will see that soon, like, I'm gonna show to the people my grappling ability. 100%. I would love to have one or two fights where I'm gonna dominate only with wrestling, and I know I'm gonna have the chance to do that, and I will do it.
So
So
maybe
that's my wrestling. Like, it's underrated. Like, people sleeps on it. Like, they think I'm only a striker. I'm not.
maybe in the UFC debut you will win by submission, maybe some crazy one like Twister or
Don't make me do it. I'll do it. If it's something like this, I'll pull it off. I don't know. Depends on the opponent. Depends on the opponent. If it's a good one on the ground, it's kind of a difficult one to put a twister on. But definitely, I'm looking for an impressive debut when it's gonna happen. I'm looking for that bonus. I don't care about nothing else, because a good performance will come with a bonus. So that's what I'm looking for. A good solid KO. The first impression must be good. How they say it. First impression, you have to go there and just spark somebody in like 2 minutes or some things like that. So yeah, I want to make a good impression in my first UFC debut. So for sure, it's not going to be submission. It's going to be a KO.
and do you have a like opponent in mind in the UFC that you would like to face in your first bout?
Because does not depend on me. Like, UFC is gonna come with a name and you're gonna take it. Like, that's how it works for the first few fights. Like, until you don't have some bargaining power, some hype behind you, UFC is gonna give an opponent. You're gonna say yes, sir, and you're gonna go and fight it. That's how it works. If you say no once or twice, you may get cut. So yeah, and especially it's not me. Like, with me, there's no problem. Like, you just give me. I know everyone in that top 30, and I can assure you, I can take on every single one of them, even on short notice. I'll take on every single one of them. It's no joke. Like, I see them train here. Like, many of them, they train here in Florida, and I can tell you, I can take on every single one of them. No doubt. No doubt. This is not trash talk. I'm dead serious. Like, whoever. If I'm ready, which I am ready because I train every day, at least once a day, even when I'm not having a fight, I train once a day. I did back work for an hour. I'll do strength and conditioning. I'll do pads. I'll spar. Like, something I will do. Like, you'll never catch me out of shape. Never. So I know these guys, they take breaks between fights, they take those month, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't. unless I don't have some injury to take care of, there's no break. Like I fight on Saturday, on Monday, I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym hitting pads. I'm in the gym fucking lifting weights. I'm doing things. So yeah, I'm ready for them. Whoever wants it, sign the contract and it will get it with me 100%. And they're gonna realize it pretty soon. Like now I'm on the sideline. I didn't do my debut yet, so I can talk, but I'm gonna show it once I'm there. Like I'm gonna fight everyone, and everyone after that will try to avoid me. You'll see.
And I think that when you will make your the debut in the UFC, you will have a lot of fans since that point, because it's of course a big platform, but you also have this crazy fan friendly style. So it's not that like takedown and holding or clinching, but you like to strike, like to knock people out. So I think that when you will make your debut, you will be like one of the top guys in fans' mind, that you are a guy to watch in this division.
Yeah, well, listen, it's at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like you can watch at it from whatever angle. It's entertainment. The fan wants to see the fight, but want to be entertained. Like he want to see you, obviously because of the way you fight, but because who you are. Like this guy's funny, it's entertaining. I like to hear him talk, like whatever, and he fights well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to make a positive impact, and do good in the UFC, and especially, representing my country, which is for me is the most important thing. I wanted to be the first, to make it to the UFC, but I got beat by two other guys that they are already in the UFC, two Romanian fighters, and yeah, they are doing pretty good. I'll be the third one, but I'll do better than them because I'm gonna break in that top 15, and hopefully within 2 or 3 years I'm gonna fight for that belt. That's my plan. That's what I want, and I will get it 100%.
Yes, it's
So
good to see this kind of confidence, because the confidence and the awareness of your skill can get you there. And sometimes there are skilled fighter, but there are not
lazy.
not super confident. Like with their mindset is maybe not wrong, but they are not super confident in their abilities.
But even confident fighters, like you can see them, they get to a certain point and they kind of get lazy. And here in Miami, you can see them like they're you just if you follow them on Instagram or some shit, like you can see like they're partying, they barbecue. Obviously, Miami, it's a crazy city. Like if you're not truly dedicated and focused, Miami will eat you alive. Like it's so easy to slack, to get lost, to slip in this city. It's insane the amount of distractions in your face. It's insane. The partying, the women's, the alcohol, the on the boats and barbecues and here and there. It's easy to lose focus and lose the goal. So you can see many of them just having too much party, and which is the thing that I do not care about partying, because again, I'll say it again, I don't want to be somebody's highlight. I want to train hard and make them my highlights. I'll knock them all out. You'll see. You'll see. The fans will see. We'll remember these words.
Okay, Daniel. So many thanks for the conversation. I hope that you will make your next fight soon. That it will be your UFC debut, and with your style, you probably get a bonus. What I think that it's also like cherry on the top of this everything.
Yes. Well, thank you for calling, thank you for giving me the chance to speak, and yeah, I'll see you soon, all of you, when I'm gonna make my UFC debut. And yeah, I cannot wait for that moment to happen. And yeah, when it will happen, everyone will know 100%. and after the fight, I'll make my impact and then grow from there.